Greetings, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we check out another indie game. This time we're looking at Space Mechanics Simulator, developed by Atomic Jelly and published by the guys at Playway SA, who created the legendary Gunsmith Simulator, which I've also reviewed. In Space Mechanics Simulator, we're blasting off into the depths of space, repairing and maintaining spacecraft, satellites and even space stations. This game has a pretty steep learning curve, but given I'm more familiar with the simulation genre, this was exactly the challenge I needed. Let's check out Space Mechanic Simulator. Now, like with most of Playway's games, I absolutely couldn't wait to get my hands dirty, and I had my level 3 mechanical license, clearing me to work on both electrical and mechanical systems. But the latest update to the game, while it did fix a lot of bugs, it also reset my saves, so we're back to square one. I have completed most of the basic tutorials, but we have a couple of more the level 2 and level 3 tutorials to complete, but that's fine because these actually do teach you a fair few skills that you'll be using in the various jobs you do. We're going to be relying on our mechanical tools a lot, the screwdriver, the wrench, and later on we're going to get our hands on electrical boards that we'll need to repair and replace, and that's where the game really comes alive for me.
Now detach middle segment of pipe TPM 10.
For now we have a series of broken pipes we need to fix, and one of the things we have to do, if any of the viewers are plumbers, is to make sure that we turn off the anything in the way of valves so that we don't have liquids or gases passing through these pipes, because that could have potentially disastrous consequences for us. So we turned off the pressure, and I'm going to turn on my flashlight. There we go. Everything in the game is really neatly labelled, and I love that. And later on you'll probably notice the keen-eyed amongst you, there are QR codes on some of these pipes and some of the electrical devices. We can download schematics that we can use as a reference point. Thankfully this is pretty simple, it's just a series of basic pipes, so we're not going to need that right now.
Detach middle segment
Beautiful.
of pipe TPM 20.
Again, these labels make my life very easy. We've got TPM 2 and we just need to remove the middle pipe here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. There we go. And you can zoom in a fair bit, like a huge amount. And that's going to come in handy too when we're working on electrical systems, because some of the components and some of the switches are tiny. Okay, now I've done something very silly. I have not turned off the pressure. Always, before you remove any section of pipe, double check your pressure.
You have both pipes. You can buy replacements or repair them in your hub, so go there now.
Okay, so we're going to head back to the ship. And we're going to need to get some repairs. Either repairing the pipes or wholesale replacing them, depending on the level of damage. So we may have to just buy some more pipes, but our ship is full of handy dandy parts. Though sometimes I may overshoot the ship because I get a bit ambitious with the thrusters. There's a bit of an art to controlling your spacesuit as well. I still haven't fully mastered it yet, but I've gotten a little bit better. So let's have a look and see. We want to go to trade items. We want to search for a pipe with 100 centimeters length and 20 centimeters radius, and we want to purchase one of those. Boom. Now we're not going to buy a replacement for this pipe. We are going to do a repair. Okay, so let's go to trade resources, and we need 40 grams of aluminum. Again, this isn't a exact science, you just try and get as close as you can. 5 grams of rubber. And 100 of steel. The riddle of steel. There we go. Beautiful. So now we go to your items and we repair the pipe. Okay, beautiful.
We will buy replacement for pipe TPM 10. Go to inventory and in there.
Now I'm just going to double check we've got here. We've got one of these, 100 centimeters R20, 100 centimeters R10. Yes, both. They're both fixed.
Search for pipe with 100 centimeters length and 20 centimeters radius in shuttle inventory on the right and buy it. To buy or sell an item, use the trade slider. This slider directly controls the number of items that will be in your inventory after completing trade. Moving it to the right will buy items, while moving it to the left will sell items. We will not buy replacement for pipe TMP20. We will repair it. Go to your items page. We will need aluminum, rubber, and steel to repair this pipe.
Now you may notice
trade resources page.
You
Similar
can
to
hear
item
that
trading,
the
you should
tutorial's
select resources
looped.
you want and use trade slider to transfer them between your inventory and shuttle reserves. You will need at least 40 G of aluminium, 5 G of rubber, and 100 G of steel to repair pipe. Purchase these resources now. Now go to your items page where you can repair pipe. Select damaged pipe and repair it. It's the 100 centimeters long pipe with 10 centimeters radius. Once you have it repaired, exit hub and put pipes back in place. Put both pipes back in place.
Now there is some problems with the tutorial. It does replay sections, and sometimes it doesn't realise when you've actually completed a task. But for the large part, it is serviceable, and you do absolutely want to pay attention during these tutorials, because as far as I can tell, you can't replay them. It would be nice to replay the training, but you do have to pay every time you do training, which means this is not free. I'm paying a fair amount of money to get this license, so you want to make sure you're paying attention, because you only get one shot at this. Especially when you're looking at 4,000 or 5,000 credits to attempt to get a license. Most of the mechanical repairs in the game are reasonably straightforward. If you've played any other simulation game, you're going to be right at home here. It's the electrical systems.
Don't forget to put back the panel and secure it with screws.
Beautiful. We'll pop the panel back. Make sure that you're paying attention, because this game does not mess around. It's probably one of the more technical games I've played. Okay, let's finish up this.
Aren't you forgetting something? The valves. You should have remembered to open them before closing cover. We intentionally do not remit about it during this exercise. Open them now.
So what I did was I forgot to turn the juice back on. So let's do that.
Approach to the panel. It is marked on your HUD.
That's better. So now we've got everything turned back on. We've got no leaks. Everything's right as rain. I just have to replace the panel. You are now
granted your M2 license.
So what I'm going to do now is head back home, and we can put our newly acquired M2 license to use in an actual mission. Because getting these licenses is very expensive, so you are occasionally going to need to take a break from your learning and go out and do a little bit of on-site maintenance, earn yourself a bit of money, and then you can replace that money, invest it into better licenses, and then you can get more lucrative contracts. So let's head to the missions and finalize. Boom. So we're now a M2 technician. We're going to move on to our next mission. Okay, so the training wheels are off. We're on our very first mission. Our goal in this mission is to repair a couple of defective batteries that are on this satellite here, and it should be a fairly straightforward job and a good introduction to the electrical system in the game. So battery repairs, apart from being a little bit on the expensive side, are generally pretty straightforward. All we have to do is just make our way on over to here and get our screwdriver out. I'm going to turn on the torch so I can see what I'm doing, and boom. You can zoom in as far as you want. The game has a really nice magnification system, which is something that's missing in other games. Sometimes when you're working on delicate electrical components, there was something in Occupy Mars that I wish they had have implemented, a really nice robust zooming system. This game, it's very technical, but it gives you some very powerful tools, and it gives you a lot of freedom to attack these problems your way. You know, do you want to work on one thing at a time, or do you want to what sort of jobs do you want to do? Do you want to work on stations? Do you want to work on satellites? This battery looks like it is in a bad state, so I'm going to grab the wrench. And there's a couple of batteries here, so now because of the limited air, I want to try and do this all in one trip. Sometimes you're not going to be able to, but in this case, detaching these two batteries is not going to be too much of a problem. Now, it's pretty dark in here. I might, whoops. Let's just turn the light up a little bit. There we go. And we've got a few things in the way here, so I'm going to have to be a bit strategic. I'll poke my head over the top of this pipe. And I reckon we've got two dead batteries we have to fix. I'm hoping it's a simple repair job. Okay, one battery, and yep, they're both jiggered. So we're gonna head back home, and I'm going to get some repairs done. Now, if you're like me and you're flying around in space, sometimes you'll be like, whee, and just squirt the thrusters flat out. It's actually not a good idea to be doing this. One, you can completely overshoot the mark and miss what you're like. Even then, I was pretty light on the thrusters. Two, it wastes a hell of a lot of thruster fuel. So as fun as it is, fuel costs money. So let's have a look and see. With two batteries, so now I think this is per battery, so I'm going to need double the amount. So I'm going to need 50 grams of copper, and I'm going to need 70 of rubber. I've already got 8, so beautiful. And we're going to need 110 of plastic. Beautiful. Repair. Oops. Repair. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got two batteries that are fixed, and we're going to head on over here and install them, and then make ourselves a bit of money. Now the next license is going to be the electrical license, or level 3. And as much as I want to get it now, these licenses are very, very expensive. I'll try and keep a little bit of money in the kitty, because we also need to pay for fuel, we need to pay for replacement parts, so you want to hang on to a little bit of money just to make sure you can complete doing jobs, because you can't get loans in this game. You want to try and make sure you are keeping an eye on your finances, because it's very easy to spend thousands of credits on replacement parts. And let's grab out the wrench and get this thing back in place. We can see that the battery is already getting a charge, so we know the battery is working, which is great. Sometimes you have to mess around with the electrical box. Sometimes if you've got a relay, you may need to restart the relay, and you may need to check the wiring as well, but I think in this case we're laughing. Let's just give a test. Not gonna let me test it? Oh, that's okay. So again, the second battery, we're replacing that. That is recharging. There we go, so we've got them installed. I am going to have to hit the reset switch on this. Let's just take this off and... Okay, mixed PC1, PCL AM1, analog, PC, mixed PCLC... here we go. Mixed PLC AM1, and we have to hit the reset switch. It's around here somewhere. Reset. There we go. Beautiful. So hit the reset. PLC AM1. And we have to set the analog to state running to hit the reset switch. So basically we're just resetting the relay, and it should now start taking power from the battery. Find the... oh, there it is. Beautiful. So I do believe we're all set. Very nice. So now what we have to do is we're just going to chuck the electrical box cover back on, and we're going to just secure that in place. And then the curved panel. And then all we have to do is chuck the screws back in to reattach this, and we are done. Not too bad if I do say so myself. Mission accomplished. So we're just going to head back home. And you can see here the station's lighting up. Everything is back to normal. The solar panels will now be filling up those batteries, and everything will be working as it should. So we're going to head back and make a bit of money, and then I think we'll try one more mission, because I was going to finish up the video, but I'm having so much fun, we're just going to do one more. Because we can. Oop, there I go, squirting the thrusters too much. Alrighty, time to check out what mission we have next. The best part of being a space mechanic is the view of Earth. This is something that not many people will get to see, especially from space. But we have to get back on task here, as we have another satellite which requires some repairs. Now this is a little bit more advanced than our last mission, because this has got a pumping system which is fairly involved, and we may need to do something a bit more advanced than repairing a few broken pipes, but we're going to have a look and see how bad the damage is first. We have a medium pump, and it appears a couple of pipes which are broken. So let's start, of course, like we always do, turning everything off. And we're going to remove this section of pipe. Now I have turned off the flow. And there's only one bracket on here, so it's easy to remove. Okay, so it appears that this one's okay, at least for now. We may need to return to this area and do further repairs. Sometimes you have to go and you repair one part, and then the problem's still there, and then you repair a second part, and so on and so forth, until you've diagnosed all of the broken parts in the sequence. So let's go and fly back over to the ship. I believe we should be able to repair this. And we'll have a look at the damage. Okay, so we need a bit of aluminium. Some rubber. Some steel. And now, beautiful. So we're going to go and add that pipe back on and then do some more tests and see if there's any other broken parts in the sequence that we need to also repair. Sometimes you'll get it easy where you've got a number of different parts that you know they're all broken and you can just make one trip and repair everything in one go. But often the job is diagnosing a broken part, fixing it, and then finding more parts in the sequence. You may need to make a few trips back to your ship, so it's always a good idea to keep an eye on how much air and fuel you've got left. Beautiful. Okay, so now we've got this fixed. We can see this other pipe here is broken too. So we want the CSP2 pipe. And we're going to need to remove this entire section of pipe. Beautiful. So let's head back over to the ship course, remembering to turn on our thrusters. Oops. It's very, very easy to overshoot your mark if you get a bit too aggressive with your thrusters. So here we've got another part we need to get. Let's grab. Oh, we need more aluminum. Okay. I need 80 G's of. Okay, fine. We will buy 80 aluminum and 10 rubber. I've already got rubber. We need 200 grams of steel. Beautiful. Okay, so pipe number 2 is ready to go. And this time we just have to once again attach the pipe, attach the brackets, get a bit of light on the situation, and I'm going to reattach the pipe and hopefully I need to detach the valve. Interesting. Okay, so I need to detach the valve. Oh, there we go. So there was a bit of another mistake in the tutorial there. It was telling me to remove the valve, but I actually removed the entire pipe and repaired and including the valve. So there's still a couple of issues with the tutorial, but for the large part, once you've played a few of these missions, you'll get a bit of an idea. Like I said, I wanted to show you the electrical systems of the game, but it's not really until about 4 or 5 hours in at least. And I'd spent at least that, probably double that, just doing all the missions, and then unfortunately my saves got deleted with the latest update, so I'm not able to show you. I may do a part 2 on this because I really, really love this game. But that is it for Space Mechanics Simulator. It is a ton of fun, and while it does not reach the legendary status of Gunsmith Simulator, it is in itself a very unique take on the simulation genre. I mean, Playway just seem to be hitting it out of the park at the moment. Every single game has its own unique spin. They've got a bit of something for everyone, whether you're into fixing cars, if you're into guns like me, computers, and now we have space equipment. This is a really interesting take, and something that not many people would have the opportunity to see. A lot of this equipment is based off real equipment you'll find, albeit somewhat a little bit out of date now, but I've really, really enjoyed this game. So let me know what you think in the comments. A big thank you to Playway for yet another simulation game that is a ton of fun, and in this case is a bit more challenging than their previous titles. Go and check this out. if you're looking for something a bit different, a little bit off the wall compared to their previous games, and hopefully you'll join me next time when we check out another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate, out.